First question comes from Mike Mahoney, and they write, do advanced ticket sales count as opening weekend box office?
Yes, they do. Yeah. You guys know.
Oh, wait. Before we go into this question, what did you call that bird?
Cocky the Collider bird?
Cocky the Collider. I was calling him Clucky. So you guys should write in and tell us what that stupid green bird with the C is. What is its name?
Call him Shoes
Cocky,
Beef.
Clucky.
Or Shoes
Where
Beef.
is he? Right
Shoes
there.
Beef. Christian
that little
Shoes
bird
Beef.
down there.
Shoes Beef.
Shoes Beef. Shoes Beef the Collider bird.
Shoes Beef, Clocky. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying Clucky or Cocky.
Shoes
or
Beef.
go with Clocky as well. We just make something up and
He's
call
the
it.
Collider Twitter bird.
Hello, Shoes Beef.
He goes by many names.
Yes, as far as I know, all advanced sales, if they're for that opening up, if you buy an advanced sales ticket for the 9th day, that does not count towards opening day. It's all about how many tickets were sold for that opening weekend, unless you guys know otherwise.
No, why wouldn't? If you're buying tickets for Thursday, Friday, Saturday of that weekend, that's the opening
They
weekend.
do count for the opening weekend. All right, what's next?
Austin Galman Brown writes, just saw Goosebumps, thought it was all right, but I'm hoping it means we'll get more of Jack Black. What do you think?
I know some people in this room who weren't all that thrilled with Goosebumps, but you know, a number of people are. I haven't had a chance around to see it. Actually, I think I might be seeing it a little bit later today. I like Jack Black. When he's doing his Jack Black shtick, in the right kind of movie, it works, and then you put him in other types of movies doing the same shtick, and it doesn't work. But I would love to see more Jack Black, see him expanding himself a little bit more. I don't know that I've ever enjoyed Jack Black more than in Tropic Thunder. He was so bang on the money in that movie. And it's unfortunate because when a lot of people think of Tropic Thunder, they forget about him sometimes because Robert Downey Jr. was so good in that. Ben Stiller was so good in that. There's a lot of things about the movie. The fake trailers are so good.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Black was awesome in that movie. So if they ever did a number 2, I would be down for it. What about you, Schneid?
I absolutely love me some Jables. I love the D. I love all that stuff. I loved him in School of Rock. He's done a lot of bad films too. You know, that's what happens with acting and actors. You know, it's like, hey, I'll bring myself to this role. You know, sometimes the movie doesn't come out as great as you wanted it to when you accepted the role, and that's just the role that die with acting. Some people are really very picky and like just don't do a role for 5 or 6 years and that's how they do it. Or sometimes they're like, I'll do whatever. I'm a tool. Use me as you may. And you know, sometimes they get like, so School of Rock was right in his wheelhouse, and it was one of the perfect roles for him. Not so much the you know, what was the one. Gulliver's Travels. He's been in a couple of stinkers, right? So Goosebumps to me, I know he was like channeling Orson Welles and stuff, just didn't do it for me. I think the Goosebumps movie is really good for families with really young kids. That's what it's kind of made for. It's made for like 5-year-olds, and then mom and dad have to sit through it. So it's just, to me, I was like, as an adult, I just didn't hit me anywhere. So, but Jack Black is a fantastic actor. He's great. He's funny. He's got all the skills that are necessary.
Have any of us mentioned High Fidelity yet, too?
No,
he was
amazing
so
in that.
No, he's done a lot of roles that he's shown that he absolutely can do dramatic as well as comedy too. He's just unfortunately he happens to be a good actor who picks some crappy movies sometimes, and
that's the exact same thing a bunch of people in the live chat board are saying right now. He's a good actor who chooses crappy movies.
He is a. I mean, he has the talent. The thing is, and he's been a star that has opened movies. I don't know if he's going to be back there soon as far as a star who opens movies, but he will certainly be around. He's not going to be a guy that is, well, he's been in so many bad movies, we're not using him anymore. No, because he's got good relationship with the studios. He brings it every time he's in a film. Yeah. So it would be silly not to want to hire him.
Yeah,
it's just a matter, right? It's just a matter if he's going to be the A-list movie star opening movies. Right now, I don't know if that's going to happen.
By the way, if you have not seen the Weird Al Yankovic video, Tacky, which is a play on Pharrell Williams' song Happy, Jack Black is in that video. It's actually really funny in that video, too. All right, let's rip through a few more.
All right, Nerdy Nick writes, if The Good Dinosaur is as good or better than Inside Out, could they both be nominated for Best Animated Picture?
If it is as good as Inside Out, sure, but that's a big if. I mean, to me, Inside Out is still either my number 1 or my number 2 favorite movie. It goes back and forth between that and The Martian for me personally. But if it's as good as that, you absolutely could potentially see. It depends. If there are 7 or 8 nominated films this year, and let's for argument's sake make that wild assumption that The Good Dinosaur is as good as Inside Out, I think you're probably going to see The Revenant, you're probably going to see Hateful Eight, you're probably going to see The Martian, you're probably going to see... I believe there's room in there for 2 animated films.
Well, you're saying Best Picture also, not even Best Animated.
No, yeah, I'm talking about Best Picture, overall Best Picture. I mean, I think it's a lock that the 2 will be nominated for Best Animated, but Best Picture, if you get like 8 nominees this year, this could be the first year ever that we get 2 animated films if... And once again, it's a giant assumption. The Good Dinosaur is as good as Inside Out. What do you think?
I hope you're right about Inside Out getting nominated for Best Picture, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it deserves it, but I just don't. I think it's a shoo-in to get nominated for Best Animated for sure. Now, as far as can Good Dinosaur get nominated as well? Yeah, I agree. If it's as good and it should be, then it will. But has that happened? No, it hasn't, because Pixar's never
had two films in one year.
So this could be something interesting if it goes down. But I don't think either one of them will be nominated for just overall Best Picture.
Yeah, you Canadians call it a twofer. Yeah, let me get a twofer. I was always shocked at when you're getting a case of beer. They're like, yeah, let me get a twofer. So weird. Yep. But this could be a 2-for-1 deal with the Oscars. I'm one of the people who did not like Inside Out as much as these guys. I thought it was okay. I just found it a little surfacey to me. That's me. But I'm looking forward to The Good Dinosaur for a number of reasons. Number one, it was in production. They were all the way through. They were past story. They were into animatics. They were into actual animation, and then they pulled it off the chain. It was supposed to come out a year ago.
Yeah, so then they kind of revamped
They had to
the whole
redo
thing.
the whole thing, and it was one of those. There's two movies that got pulled, which is really shocking when you hear this stuff, because animation takes a really long time to do, and it's a lot of work, and a lot of resources are being put into making animated films to go that far down the line. There was another one, I can't remember, Me and My Shadow is what it was called. There was like one about shadows, where the shadow is actually a living thing. But this Good Dinosaur got retooled, redone, remade. So I'm really excited to see what it is that actually is coming to us from the original inception to what it is now. So whether it's going to be as good as like what you guys thought Inside Out is, or whether it's going to be better, I'm really excited to see it. I hope it's incredible. So that's all I can say. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. So.
All right, let's rapid fire through a few more.
All right. Hey, guys, want to know if you all have a movie that you love but the world hates, really like Masters of Disguise?
Armageddon, to me, is one of them. I know everybody hates Armageddon. I always go to that one as one of my guilty pleasure movies.
I'm sorry, Masters of Disguise is such a horrible film. I can't even think of a garbage film. A film that I love that everyone hates.
Yeah.
Let's see. Highlander 2, The Quickening.
You like Highlander 2, The Quickening?
Yeah,
That's one of I was just on a show yesterday where I said it's like in my top 3 worst films in cinematic history.
No, I'm not saying it's a horrible
but
garbage
Michael
film.
Ironside's in it.
No, but it's one of those things. Just like Krull, I have a whole list of weird garbage films that for some reason I'm like, I love that scene. It's so bad, it's good. So that's for me. I have a list of bad movies.
Well, I mean, you're not going to think that a lot of people hate this, I think, too, but Flash Gordon.
I love Flash Gordon.
I know you do.
Oh, you're right.
But you're on the same page as me. But I showed Ellis had never seen it, and Ellis saw it like 2 years ago, and he's like, "What am I watching?
Oh no,
like this is horrible." And I think if people watch it now and see that, to me, Flash Gordon for sure. And I'll tell you what, I know this, and I know it's a bad movie, and I know the reviews are coming out to be garbage, and I agree that it is a bad movie, but I enjoyed watching The Last Witch Hunter. It is dumb. It is entertaining as hell, and I found myself liking it. I can understand. Like, I've already got comments on my review to where it's just like, this movie was terrible, and more power to you. It is, but I, for some reason, liked watching it with that stupid beard hunting witches.
All right, what's next?
Jordan writes, what James Bond movie should I watch before Spectre? I've only seen Skyfall.
Well, Skyfall is the one you should watch before Spectre.
Or Quantum of Solace, according to critics.
Yeah, I mean, right? If there's one you got to watch before watching Spectre, it's Skyfall.
Well, I think it ties into this movie
as
well,
does.
too.
Well, he said he saw Skyfall. So besides Skyfall.
I know. So besides Skyfall,
Say Casino Royale.
I would say Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
That's the one.
Absolutely. All right.
Because the reason why, real quick, is because of the evolution of what Bond has done in this franchise. It started out as almost like this Bourne type gritty Bond, and he's evolving into the Bond, the classic Bond that we know. So if you want to see the beginning, the gritty Bond, start with that one.
All right, a couple more.
Vajda Mate writes, will you do another Movie Madness tournament?
We probably will, yes. We did one for the greatest animated films of all time. We did one for the greatest comic book films of all time. We were talking about maybe doing one for like greatest action films, greatest villains, greatest kiss moments in movies. No, we've never talked about doing that.
Oh, come on.
Did you get excited there for a second?
The Notebook.
No, he's talking about Gene Simmons.
That's right.
Greatest kiss moments. What was that one with Tom Selleck? Gene Simmons played a weird dude.
Yeah.
What was that science fiction one? Come on,
man.
what do you
Tom Selleck?
Yeah, come on, Sweaties.
Totally know.
Oh, you're talking about where it's
got those little metal
Yeah, the
creatures.
little metal creatures.
Yeah.
Come on, what's it called,
what is it
Sweaties?
called?
Write it in.
Anyway, okay, 2 more questions, rapid fire, and then we'll call it a day.
All right, Hunter Close writes, favorite comedy from the 2000s?
Oh, my favorite comedy of all time is 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's
I put Wedding Crashers in there.
Wedding Crashers is great.
Yeah.
boy, from the 2000s. Anchorman.
Anchorman's great too. All right, last question.
Bridesmaids, hello.
Bridesmaids, great.
Last question from Callum L. And they write, how do the finances of product placement work? Do they go into the budget, into the pockets of executives?
If I'm understand it right, because I've never had I've only made one movie and I never had product placement in it. But I think you just use that to offset in an accounting sense, you just use it to offset costs of production. It doesn't go directly into executives' pockets. It goes into offsetting the expenses of making the film.
Yeah, or it helps pay for the film's budget. So.
Yeah.